Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Trish.
Mrs. Brew,
Here.
Mr. Kramer, Mr. Menegini,
Here.
Mr. Marraro,
Here.
Mr. Pop.
Here.
We'll move on to the approval of the agenda.
Should I make a motion to excuse Mr. Kramer?
Yep.
Yes, please. I'm sorry.
I make a motion to excuse Mr. Kramer from tonight.
Support.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Marraro,
Yes.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes. All right, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion on the agenda?
I make a motion we approve the agenda.
Second.
who is that? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Lee seconded it.
Mr. Marraro,
Yes.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini.
Yes.
Move on to the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of August 3rd, 2020. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion we
A
approve.
motion that we
the regular-
approve.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I motion that we approve the meetings for the regular meeting of August 3rd, 2020.
Support.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Marraro.
Yes.
We'll move on to the approval of the manifest 2020-16. Scott, do you have any questions?
I have nothing for tonight.
Jeff?
Yes, I do, Madam Mayor. Page 2. General Fund, Department of Public Works. Go down, you'll see a number 129 valve seal kit for $5,769.41. Ray, what was that for?
I'll get you a copy of the invoice. I'm sure it was from Road Machinery, so I'm guessing it's for the loader.
Okay. Thank you.
But I'll get you more information on that.
Just below that, guys, under refuse collection, $12,050 to Gation Farms and Forest. I understand what it's for the grinding and hauling wood at the compost site. Is that it? Is that what it costs us a year, or do we expect to see?
That's double. It normally costs us about $6,000 or $7,000, but because this is actually 2 years, we didn't get them in last year. It got too late, and then they weren't able to come in.
And usually
Now,
Vulcan.
does the township pay for half of that?
Township pays half of that.
Township's paying for half of that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And is that some of this due to the illegal dumping that we had out there as well?
Yeah.
And if you go out and look
there's
now,
been-
Ray, they're illegal again.
What's
There's
that?
illegal wood out there right now.
All right. Well, we just got the cameras up today.
Okay, good.
So
Good.
this week they're finishing up with cameras, and yeah, I would say some of that, but we get a lot of traffic in there. So
Sure. Page 3, under Downtown Development Authority, DDA. Annual website maintenance, $4,568 to revise.
yes, that was actually a 3-year agreement that we had with them. We split that development cost into 3 years.
Okay. I just want to make a comment on this, Madam Mayor.
Mhm.
If this is maintenance and we're paying $4,568 a year for website maintenance, that's an astronomical number unless there's a lot of stuff going in and out of that website.
Yeah, like I said, that includes the development. There was a 3-year
Okay.
development. We spread it up, the cost over 3 years.
Okay,
That's why we did the whole web page and that too, Jeff.
okay, sounds good. Sounds good. When I saw it under maintenance, it just concerned me, that's all. And I think, guys, I got maybe one more here. Just checking. Yeah, I think my last one on page 6 of 7. Under water, GEI Consultants, Norway Water Service GIS survey, another $7,100.
Yeah. They're still finishing up with a project that we had commissioned them last year.
Okay?
So it's part of that asset management plan that we have to do for Eagle. And then we have to identify our services that, they review our water services, and then we have what we can target in that for the lead. That's part of that lead issue.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you.
Lee?
Yeah, Jeff caught a couple of mine already here, but I got on page 3 of 7, just curiosity here, under Recreation Department, we burned up $536 worth of gas. Is that including the lawnmowers, Ray? Do you know?
That is lawnmowers, yes.
Strictly lawnmowers, or is that counting the pickup trucks?
No, it's pretty much lawnmowers. And I'm not sure if that's a couple months that got into that, because I know that they were charging DPW, and then we had them that switched over to
Okay.
recreation. So
it's a lot of gas, that's all. And page 5 of 7, electric utility, 1, 2, 3, the 4th one down. Vermeer, Wisconsin Inc., Elements, Filters, number 200 trencher. Is that our new trencher? And I mean, just for elements and filters, $600, that's seems kind of high unless there's more involved in that.
yeah, I'll have to pull the invoice.
Well, that should
Okay.
be under some kind of warranty, no?
Well, it depends if it's maintenance. I'll
It's
have to
usable.
pull it and see.
Filters are probably considered usable, items,
Yeah.
wear items.
Okay, that's all.
Lee?
That's all.
Okay. All right, I have nothing. Do I have a motion on the manifest?
Make the motion,
I'll make a
manifest
motion, we approve.
2020-6 in the amount of $471,397.43.
Support.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Marraro,
Yes.
Mr. Pop.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to the answers from previous manifest questions. Mr. Anderson?
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. The main questions from the last meeting on the Norway auto parts bill, those are filters for truck 410 and motor oil for the lawnmowers, 30W weight lawnmower oil, or W30. On the daily news, we did clarify that Lufs is considered an advertiser, not a newspaper, and it's based off the state regulation for definition of a newsletter or a newspaper. What we are doing is going in and reviewing our postings and finding out how we can minimize our costs on those publications. So hopefully, with fewer options, we have to be more careful on and more diligent in looking at the details of the legal requirements of what is considered a posting and how much we actually have to post. So I think with our web page and with our ability to put like the ordinance as an example, where we could put it on the web page and have a copy here and then do a summary, we're going to look at making sure that we summarize as best we can those for those costs. I do know on the water report, There is a requirement of putting it in the publication. I know that when I talked to our neighboring communities, they found the same issue, but there is potential for doing the same thing with the webpage. So we're going to be talking with amongst each other and making sure that we minimize those costs.
Well, I was the one that had mentioned that, Ray.
Yeah.
And reading their write-up on it, I think you're right where it says in there they have a very strong lobby.
Yeah, they do.
These can't be changed.
They do. We have, for decades, we have tried down in Lansing to make some of that change, and that has not gone anywhere. But there are some ways that we can hopefully in the future minimize some of those costs. So that's all that I had from the last.
Very foolish waste of money, Lee, to your point. You could post it at City Hall. Now you have all the electronic stuff, websites. You could put it on your, like for a community like ours, we could put it on channel, our city channel. Instead, you have to spend thousands of taxpayer dollars a year to put the stuff in a paper that has a circulation of what in town? Maybe a quarter of people in town get the paper, if we're lucky.
Hard to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Really
That's all.
quickly,
That's it.
One of the ways that I've read where we could utilize our webpage, but we still have to send something directly to like our utility customers. But with our newsletter, I think we can
Cover it with that.
requirements. So
Yeah, that's a mailing. I mean, it's
that's a mailing, direct
it's a
mailing.
month, right? Direct mailing.
And Luff's, that goes every place. The Daily News doesn't.
Right, but it's an advertiser. So
Yeah, I know.
it doesn't meet the requirements. So that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
All right. Anyone wishing to address the council on any agenda item will be unmuted and given an opportunity to make their comments. State your name and address for the records. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person.
So I would just recommend that if you would like to speak, you do the wave hand.
Okay.
If you're a telephone number, I'll unmute you briefly, and then you can let us know.
Would you like to? Do you have anything to say? Person 906-282-1507.
They're unmuted. I guess not.
We have no public hearing. We'll move on to appointments and presentations. Appointment, Michigan Municipal League Annual Meeting Voting Delegates.
Okay, Madam Mayor, thank you. This is something we do every year. This year, the Michigan Municipal League's annual meeting will be virtual, but we still need to appoint a voting delegate for the annual meeting itself. The conference, there's a number of different conference options for when you want to participate. But we do again need to delegate or approve our official delegate for voting purposes.
You usually do that, don't you, Ray, for us?
I have, and partly because I have been traveling to those events. I didn't know if council wanted to participate this year and be the delegate. If not, I definitely can do it.
I don't have
I recommend Ray do it.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So do you want me to motion?
Yes, that would be good.
Okay. I make the motion that Mr. Anderson be appointed the City of Norway's voting delegate at the upcoming MML annual meeting to be held online on September 29, 2020.
Second.
Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Marraro,
Yep.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Mrs. Fu.
Yes. Move on to communications, approval, Community Bible Chapel Knights Kingdom maintenance.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. This is something we had on the last council meeting, came up, and we put on the agenda tonight for approval. It's again request to do maintenance on our Knights Kingdom by the Bible Chapel. I see Mr. Barker is online. I'm going to go and promote him over to panelist, and if in case you have any questions for him.
Personally, I think we've pretty much decided that for that kind of, we're just appreciative that they're going to do this
Yeah.
for us, and we're going to give them the money they need, right?
I'm very thankful for this.
Mm-hmm. Here.
And I also noticed that he had some questions in there, Ray. Can he get together with you for the answer on them questions, or did you already answer them?
Well, Mr. Barker's online. We can get together and make sure that between myself and Mr. Ball, we can take care of his needs.
Yeah, because I noticed he had some questions on there.
Yes, I'm planning to try to get a hold of Mr. Ball. I was planning to write him an email tonight.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. This is Lee here. Thank you very much, Mr. Barker. Really glad that your community Bible chapel has stepped up to do all this work. But we as a city, we have got to keep our maintenance up. And before I get too carried away here, all materials should be bought in town. I noticed in your proposal they were using Home Depot prices, but I believe we have talked about that, and things will be bought in town. And
That's
now
correct.
on the path itself, it's getting a little bad already. On the northeast corner, there's a 1.5 foot hole where there was a washout on the blacktop on the trail itself. That's just down about 30 yards from that parking spot on the northeast corner. I know it was like that a month ago. I went the other day, and the hole is still there, unless it's a new hole. They filled it in and it washed out again. One of the benches, you can't even get to. They've got 2 feet of weeds going down to it. That's on the north side. Then we got the real special area. They're starting to call it the beach. Down on the northwest corner, there's about 2 inches of sand that's running right down, washing everything down. And like I said, there's 2 inches of sand on it for about 20 feet. It's just, you need big boulders there to stop this erosion. I mean, that place is so nice and so many people going around it, and they just finished that path, and here we've got issues already. We've got to stay on top of all this stuff, and our benches that are there, they need a stain job or something. They're really fading bad, and I don't know whose it is, but somebody had donated one, and even the little plaque is off it. Maybe we can find out who that person is. I'm sure somewhere there's a record of it, and at least let them know somebody just took the sign off it, the little plaque. That's about all I have on that.
Is there any other questions or comments? If not, I would need a motion.
I motion that we approve the Community Bible Chapel for Knights Kingdoms repairs not to exceed $2,000.
Support.
Mr. Marraro,
Yes.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini.
Yes.
Thanks again, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
We'll move on to the approval of Norway Area Preservation Society 801 Chestnut Project.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. This is another a request from a group, the Norway Area Preservation Society. Carol Sundstrom, she's done wonderful work in the community. She's helped with like Leif Erikson and done a number and helped with or really spearheaded our music in the park program for a number of years now. And her group would like to do maintenance on the old Jake Mangini building. I think that was it's slowly heading towards demolition and cleaning up on the lot, and they would like to try and preserve it. Both the city attorney Carlson and I have discussed with Carol or Ms. Sundstrom about some of the volunteer. We've started with an agreement, but because it's just maintenance, we discussed the volunteer forms and working with them for liability purpose, but we'd like to get them move forward if possible and allow them to work on this building.
I just want to say another thank you to our wonderful group and Carol, that put into our community, and that we really appreciate these people coming out and volunteering. This is what it's all about. We all live in this town and we all want to keep it up, and just really appreciate all these people coming out to help out.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yep, couldn't agree more.
Can I have a motion?
Yep.
I make a motion Norway Area Preservation Society be approved to provide maintenance and repairs to the old Jake Menegini Museum building located on Chestnut Street.
They got that one spelled wrong. It's Menegini this time instead of Mengini.
So I second it.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Moraro.
Yes.
We'll move on to the Dickinson County Designated Assessor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On this particular agenda item, I received an email notice from the county equalization department that pursuant to state statute, the counties need to move forward and designate or have a designated assessor. This would only kick in if there was some problem with our assessing role or our assessing situation here. The agreement has been provided for your review, and at this point, just about every community in the Dickinson County area has approved such agreement. So,
Is there any questions? If not, I need a motion.
Well, as far as I have a few questions, or I should say comments. To me, it's just nothing but another bureaucratic job. That's all.
Do I have a motion?
I don't think you're gonna get one from Lee, Candy.
And we have to have
Okay, I'll motion that we approve the Dickinson County Designated Assessor.
Support.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini,
No.
Mr. Moraro,
Yes.
Mr. Pop.
Yes.
We'll move on to approval electric department bucket truck purchase.
okay. During budget hearings, we talked about replacing our material handler, and we want to move forward with getting a new bucket truck. Mr. Hagee is with us this evening. You can answer, questions if you have for, for this purchase. But one thing that we did, we had $260,000 in the budget for this purchase, and we were able to secure a bid for $237,970. And also, I do believe that the turnaround on this is going to be a little bit quicker than what we had originally thought. Normally, they said it was a year. I think this was just over 6 months. So,
I guess the only question I have and my concern is, I know we've used utility sales for a long time, and my only question is, and I know he put this on here, the drawback is where we can get it fixed. We would have to bring it to Green Bay. And were we using like Gunville Trucking or Schultz Equipment before?
Schultz Equipment is the international dealer. Yeah.
Okay. So before Schultz Equipment could work on them, now we'd have to go all the way to Green Bay to have it worked on.
That is correct. If we need anything done with the chassis, that would have to go to Green Bay. But as far as the aerial or any of the attachments to the truck, that could still be serviced by utility sales.
Yes.
So it's basically engine and drivetrain would have to go to Green Bay. So that is a drawback.
Yeah, that's the only, because I know it didn't, before, if it was like the bucket or the boom or anything, we went to Little Chute, but otherwise Schultz Equipment could work on it here, right?
Correct.
Scott? Yeah.
That is correct. And utility sales can still service this truck because it's a Verslift boom and they're a Verslift dealer. It's just they're not going to be the one that would be making the truck. So service we could still get done in Little Chute or by their mobile mechanic at our shop. But if it's warranty work or anything that goes wrong down the road with the chassis or drivetrain, that would have to go to Green Bay.
Otherwise, it could be worked on at Schultz Equipment here.
Not the Kenworth chassis.
No.
Is it a Kenworth?
Correct.
Yeah. No. Kenworth's got the dealers in Green Bay. Any warranty work would have to be sent to Green Bay, or I don't know if they have an on the road mechanic or not, but.
Yeah, that's my only drawback is it can't be fixed here, and I hate to see the turnaround time too long on a bucket truck.
Madam Mayor, I have a question as well. As I always like to say, just because some things come out of a budget doesn't mean, we know a budget season gets and we all have to approve things and move things forward. Is this an absolute necessity?
In order to get rid of the bucket truck that we currently have, yes. The truck that we have right now, the bins are ready to fall off. They're just completely rotted out. So, I mean,
we can't rebuild bins or can't replace bins? I'm not, just a question, I don't know.
No, we could. So to answer your question, no, it is not an absolute necessity.
Is the truck itself, the chassis, besides the bins, is it serviceable, good shape? The boom's working well, things are good?
It's at the end of its service life.
How old is it?
2000.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a long time for a truck like that.
It's a long time.
Scott,
Yep.
How much you think we get for that, the old truck? Any rough idea?
It's purely speculation. I would say around $10,000. They do not want to take it in on trade. They said the truck is too far gone. Otherwise, we could trade it in, but we'd have to put it on the auction, the online auction.
And
So,
I know that we've had this on budgeted for the last few years, and it got pushed off. So I know we need the truck. Like I said, my biggest drawback is I don't care what truck you pick or whatever. My only drawback is I don't know about having to go to Green Bay to get it fixed.
I do like the 4-wheel drive option. I do like the added height, the extra 18 inches. I think that may help us get over the whole going to Green Bay for the warranty work type stuff. What's the warranty on this truck?
I actually don't know. I don't have that answer.
I mean, if it's a 5-year warranty, well, then something's going wrong in 5 years, and we got to deal with going to Green Bay to get it fixed. If it's a 1-year warranty, well, then maybe whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's a question that needs to be answered personally, Candy.
Yeah, I agree with that. But do you mind, Scott, getting some of that information for us?
Just tighten up the warranty. Just tighten up the chassis warranty stuff, Scott. And
yeah, see what the warranty looks like probably on both of them, so we can compare the warranties too.
Then I have no problem moving forward with it personally, but I agree, Candy. Green Bay.
2 weeks isn't really going to make any difference.
No. 2 weeks isn't going to make a difference.
Warranty, if something happens to it, they'll come pick it up. If it's dead up here, we won't have to pay for the hauling.
No, you gotta drive it down. Oh, if it dies up here?
Yeah, if it dies up here.
I don't know.
I mean, do we have to pay for the hauling to get it to Green Bay?
Right.
Because that's going to cost a little bit more than going to Quinnipiac or to Iron Mountain.
I know for a fact from working at Loadmaster, we dealt with a lot of these, chassis down in, dealers in Green Bay. You had to run stuff down yourself unless it was mission critical, right? Like if it didn't run, it didn't start, tranny blew out or something like that. So, yeah, there's going to be some time and extra cost even with warranty work done. There's no doubt about it.
Well, it's just like buying a new car. You never know. The warranty is there in case something does happen, but what's the track record on that vehicle? That's what you have to look at to me.
Kenworth is a good product.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
But I'll say this, that's to Lee's point. That's why a lot of us buy local, right? You buy your vehicles local. If you have a problem, you get it service local.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So I motion to table this till the next meeting.
I motion we table.
You should be able to get that information, Scott, right? Before our next meeting. Won't be till September.
Yes, ma'am. That won't be a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I motion we table it, pending Scott's, answers to our questions.
Support.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Moraro,
Yes.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew.
Yes. Move on to approve Strawberry Lake project bleacher construction.
Hey, thank you, Madam Mayor. One of the last items we have to work with on the Strawberry Lake project is construction of the bleachers. We tried to handle this in-house and decided that in order to get this done, we put out a request advertised for contractors. Our local contractor here is working on our Main Street parks. He was interested. He gave us a proposal for it. His proposal is for $3,000 in labor. Materials we would buy direct. He estimates it's just shy of $2,000. That we would try and utilize as much as we have in-house. We do have some, we definitely have all the truck decking, and we had some pressurized lumber. I'm not quite sure exactly how much is left. I have to get with David, but he priced it out in case we had to buy all the structural ourselves.
What was the budget number in this, Ray?
The budget
On
number.
that,
Excuse me.
What do we have budgeted for the in-house? If we're doing
For the in-house, we have $5,000 budgeted in-house.
Okay.
So, and then the way this works is that we would take and we would submit all of the materials and the labor under our payment request to the state, and they pay us back at 74%. So, you know, where we have in-house labor, in-house materials, they actually pay us for that. And so that's how we come up to try and get to about 100% where the grant money pays for the project. You know, so we're pretty close right now at that, and this is the last little bit. Hopefully, get us up within that, very close to that 100% range.
Ray,
Oh, sorry.
excuse me, Candy. Excuse me. On the treated lumber, make sure it's 0.6, not that 0.2, because 0.2 is not supposed to be in contact with the ground. I mean, it's got whatever that stuff is they shooting it. It's got some of it.
Arsenic.
The code used to be in the ground at 0.6.
Thank you for that.
And the contractor should know that.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that Second Nature Landscaping be approved to construct the Strawberry Lake bleachers for a price not to exceed $3,000 labor and $2,000 materials.
Support.
Mr. Moraro,
Yes.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini. Mr. Menegini.
Yes.
Move on to police department portable radio purchase.
On this particular agenda item, received a request from the police chief for purchasing a portable radio. We do this through the My Deal, and Elcom Systems is the contractor through My Deal, and its cost is $3,054.35. The purchase has been budgeted. It's something that they've, it's part of equipment replacement for these radios.
Do I have a motion?
See, the other one's 18 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, I motion that the police department portable radio purchase through Elcom Systems for a price not to exceed $3,054.35 be approved.
Support.
Pop,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Moraro.
Yes.
We'll move on to resolution 2020-17, resolution recognizing Gold Star families in Dickinson County.
This is a proclamation resolution that came late last week to my desk. Request from Commissioner Joe Stevens from the county commission, and they're having the county is going to have a Gold Star Family Recognition Week and Day. September 20th through 26th is the week, and then Saturday the 19th will be the recognized Gold Star families in Dixie County. This is something that, in looking at history, the Gold Star families were recognized all the way back to World War I. And so this is a very important recognition, and all of the local municipalities are providing these proclamations or resolutions in support of our Gold Star families.
Great thing.
I'd just like to make a comment on this.
Sure.
This really snowballed after World War II. And just to mention it, my grandmother on my mother's side, she was a Gold Star member. Her son was killed. And back late 40s, early 50s, this was really a big deal. They had organizations going and all kinds of programs they had going. That's all.
Yeah. It's a very good thing to support.
Have a motion?
Make a motion resolution 2020-17 be approved.
I'll make them. Support.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Marrero,
Yes.
Mr. Pop.
Yes.
Move on to request to purchase City of Norway owned property.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A request has come in through our purchasing policy from Terry Hafes from 207 Belgiantown Road. I provided you with a map of the area that he lives, and where this really started was he contacted my office putting together a zoning compliance permit for a garage, and he's very limited in area where he could place that structure. So, you know, and the city owns all around his property, as you can see by the map. And I said, well, either he couldn't even get a variation for it because he can't have a variation for structure on property he doesn't own. He could try to work that structure back into his property, but he just asked about being able to buy a section so that he could extend and put that structure up. So as part of the policy, just like we recently reviewed, basically all the council would do is approve staff moving forward. If you think that that's something that's reasonable, again, you look at the area around his property. I do believe that that we could probably figure something out with him, but that's totally up to council if you want us to proceed.
Well, it's all about price, right? Fair. I
Yeah.
don't see a price on this, so I mean,
Yeah.
as far as moving
What
forward, I don't
size
have a
area are
problem.
we talking there, Ray?
He's not asking for a whole lot. I don't have the specific dimension. He's basically looking at, you know, 50 feet by almost like a lot size. You know,
That little kind of like grayish line, is that little road that cuts through there and goes over to the DNR building?
No, that the one to the left of the
Yeah.
that's
Looks
the
like
one
a
that goes
road.
down the hill to the DNR. So I don't know
Yeah,
where
okay.
that other one might be, an old 2-track that it actually heads back and ends, so it doesn't really go into
Oh,
any.
okay.
I say go ahead and try to work something out.
Yeah, see what they can do.
Yeah.
Works for me.
I make a motion that council direct staff to proceed with official review and request.
Second.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Marrero,
Yes.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew.
Yes. Move on to approval EV charging station project, request to purchase equipment.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is another project that we received grant funding to move forward with. It's sponsored by the DDA, and as you can see, the charge point fast charger equipment we need to move forward and purchasing that equipment, as we also are working forward with the planning of the project. The equipment cost is $56,079, and the grant is for a third of the overall project, which is roughly $35,000 grant money. The DDA is picking up a third of the project, and the electric utility picks up a third of the project. Now, this is something that we budgeted through the electric utility and, of course, the DDA.
Ray, did we ever finalize, because I know I haven't been able to be at some of the meetings or I had to leave early. Did we finalize where we were going to put it?
No, that's actually on the agenda for Wednesday's meeting. We have 3 or 4 different locations. We need to finalize the location.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
lead item on this equipment, we need to get it purchased and ordered.
Okay.
I would suggest we get it off of US 2 and get them down Main Street one way or the other. So
Yeah.
they get into town and you see our businesses and, you know, the rest of it, right? I think that's an important piece of this.
All right. Do I have
Yes, I agree with you 100%, Jeff.
Thanks,
I'm
Dave.
just wondering because on the write-up on it, it said there's 702 Brown Street, and I mean, that's just an address. I mean, it would never be there. That's
No.
down by the electric shop, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it would be great to get
Because it
it,
said right on that site address, 702 Brown.
right. I think it'd be great to get it done by Strawberry Lake personally.
I'm not sure where they pulled that address from, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just
I think,
curious, you know.
I think what they
And
did was,
one other thing,
oh, go ahead.
somewhere in this write-up, it said Volkswagen State Mitigation Trust. Is that because they zapped Volkswagen for illegally falsifying information on the emissions, and this is where this money's coming from?
Yeah, each state received an amount of dollars from the Volkswagen settlement.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Michigan is using their settlement monies to help fund these electric vehicle stations.
Nice catch, Lee.
I just want to let you know too that I haven't finalized any of the figures but with WPPI, but they're also going to, they have a program for providing some grant funding. So they're gonna also participate in the project.
It's gonna make them money. They should.
Well, more and more electric vehicles, I mean, this is gonna be like a destination point.
Correct.
You know, they're gonna look at the map and say, hey, oh, here, we can charge up here, let's go that way instead of this way. And then they can stop at our new brewery too.
There you go.
Do I have a motion?
I motion that we approve the EV charging station project equipment purchase, not from ChargePoint, not to exceed $56,079.
Or
Mr. Marraro?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
yes,
Ms. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
We'll move on to Sturgeon Falls Hydro Unit number 4 bearing project.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Scott Klabunde is with us this evening. I promoted him to the panel. They started working on our bearing. They found some additional work that they recommend we do. And so I can turn it over to Scott and let him explain what he has for us on this proposal.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ray. So I'll be brief. We're back on site. We came back today, and we're in the process of doing, I guess, four tasks. The first one is to work on your Unit 4 and complete that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. To inspect the next 2 tasks, one is to inspect Unit 1, which is the new Lead Destroy Forerunner unit, and to see how that's been performing. That's been running for about, I want to say about a year, not quite a year. And to inspect, the third task is to inspect Unit 2. That is the horizontal 2 new lead store runner unit. That's been running for about 2 years. And then finally is to replace this weakened shaft that's in unit number 1. That shaft is currently, it's a new board shaft. It's currently sitting at Northern Machine, and we're going to replace that as well. So as far as unit 4, there's some misalignment issues we're working on with the 2 head covers. We don't think we're proposing a couple of minor things that we're trying to accomplish in the next couple of days to get that unit online before we tear into the horizontal units. So that's it in a nutshell. I just wanted to give a brief update. There will be more to come, of course. I'm sure you're all very we're all very interested in seeing what the inspections show on the new lead destroy runners. So so that's the update.
I think we lost a few people.
Yeah, I think we had an outage here earlier, but yeah, looks like
The lights just
Candy's back.
Can you call? Okay. Okay.
Are we back on?
If you could, yeah. try-
I'm back on. For some reason, I got kicked off. My lights flashed off.
All right, we'll do.
Okay.
Okay.
So any questions for me that I can answer? Like I said, we'll have a, in a couple of weeks, we'll have a report here on the inspections. But if you got any initial questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I just wanted to
Scott, I got one question for you here.
Sure, go ahead, Lee.
These broken pins. I mean, do you think that happened when this started to go, or was that something that had been weakened before and just happened, or any idea?
Yeah, the two covers that the wicket gates sit between are not, that the pins sit between are misaligned.
Oh.
So when the wicket gates are open and closed, there's some unusual stresses being put on these pins. And yeah, to have this unit put back together 4 months ago and now have, I think we said there were nine pins broken is just unacceptable. So we got to fix that. The good news is that you're not having catastrophic. I mean, you might call that catastrophic, but it's nothing like happened here last year when we had the wickets come out and go into the runner and all those damages. I mean, these are repairable items. We need to stop this from happening.
And you will be able to stop that?
Yeah, we've got
I should say.
Yeah, there's a couple of options we're looking at. We're not quite sure which will be the best, but they're not going to be expensive options. We're going to try to get it back online and get it running and propose some future fix here down the road once we get your horizontals inspected and back online. But we're thinking about something that's going to be very economical. And I was telling Ray a little bit earlier, some of the feedback I'm getting from, the people that we're having look at this is that, this unit, if we can fix this misalignment problem, it may not be as bad as what we've talked about this unit being, needing to be, we've talked about everything from replacing it to, some major modifications. So we're trying to do something economical and get some good reliability out of it. So.
Sounds good.
That's what we're.
Hey, Scott, I got a question for you. Hey, are you down at the hydro right now?
Yeah. Yep.
Did anything just happen? We just had a power bump up here.
Yeah, we had a power bump here too.
I think there is something going on Forest Drive.
Yeah, I just lost my modem. You know, modems are touchy. Even a flicker will reset them. Yeah.
Yeah, you lost the project about 5 o'clock. There was a tree on a line somewhere that Scott was talking about, Scott Hagee, but yeah, we just had a bump, but we didn't not get knocked offline.
No.
Okay.
So yeah, so there'll be more to come. We'll be back talking to you in a couple of weeks and hopefully have some good news regarding all the units at the plant here.
Are we holding up Leaderstrobe at all? Or are we in line with them?
What's the question, Candy? Holding them up, meaning?
Are we holding them up now by doing this, or are we still?
No, we were going to start dewatering unit 1 today. We didn't. We will probably start either 1 or 2 tomorrow. So we had a day here a day or two that we'll be working on this unit 4 tomorrow again, and hopefully get it back up and running. So no, our goal here is to get that shaft in unit 1. So yeah, good question. We don't want to be delaying that work.
When are you dewatering? Tomorrow?
Yeah, that's the plan, is to dewater unit number 2, which is offline anyway. So we're going to leave number 1 run, and we're going to start with the inspection on number 2, which will be fairly quick, couple of days, and then we'll get that one up and running, and then we'll start on unit number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good question, because we don't want to be pushing into the fall.
No.
Or winter. No.
We're into the winter, right?
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Scott.
Okay. Thank you all.
Hi, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Good seeing you, Scott.
Good to see you all too. Thanks.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that HCMS be approved for amendment number 1, be approved for repairs on unit number 4 bearing project for time and material not to exceed $5,000.
Support.
Okay, I'll call this out. Mayor Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Councilmember Moraro,
Yes.
Mr. Mangini.
Yes.
Okay. That passes.
Okay, move on to approval Sturgeon Falls Hydro License Agreement easement request from the law firms.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is one we had a month or so ago with an easement request. We did get language that provided for a revocable easement and this agreement. And now what we would do is we're requesting council to basically approve to have the staff submit this to FERC. And there's a formal approval process through FERC, which takes probably about 45 to 60 days. So we're just asking council to allow us to move forward with submitting this application.
Grant's not on, Ray. I'm assuming that he's comfortable. You've talked with Grant and he's comfortable with the language in the easement.
Yes. Let's see. It did.
Looks like a couple of folks are trying to get back in.
Yeah. I don't know, Grant, if that's you, are you unmuted? Can you unmute yourself? And if not, yes, we talked it over, and this actually was his agreement. He was able to put this together and has been working on it, and he submitted it to us for council's review and approval. Move forward.
So really right now we're just approving to make sure, sending it to FERC.
Yes.
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 I still want to make sure it's okay. I just wanted to make sure it was okay with Grant. I didn't know where they came from. If it came from, the title company's lawyer or where. So, but okay, good.
Do I have a motion?
I'd just like to make a little comment here first. Who is paying for all this?
The other law firm, title company, and the
I mean, the
buyer.
lawyer fees on our side are gonna be, I have no idea what it's gonna be, but there's
We
no
talked
way that
about-
we should have to pay for this because they came to us.
I think we
All
talked
the
about this
legal
in the
work.
past, didn't we, Ray?
Yeah, we did.
I thought we did.
Yeah.
And that's something we would submit to them as part of the title, work.
Okay,
Right.
They have to get this.
just wanna make sure.
Yeah, Candy, I propose we pass city property easement request for the law firm sale.
To FERC, or is that to?
To FERC,
Are we
yes.
approving?
Yeah, to
Are we approving? Are we approving the easement, or we're approving
No,
Just the
to
FERC,
the next level? To the
the
next
next-
step.
application.
next
You're
level.
approving the application to go to FERC.
right?
So then we work with
Okay.
FERC and the
Okay.
agencies for approval.
From
So you
there.
would-
Okay.
Yeah.
So on there it says easement request. So really
Yeah.
that is-
The recommendation
Just an
says
easement
approve for easement.
That's how I motioned to city property easement request
To FERC.
to FERC, correct? That's not what it says here, but right, it's going to FERC.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you look at this, the approving the easement, that kind of looks like we're approving everything.
I would argue that it would
Well,
be the
that's why I
city
don't want to.
the city property easement would be approving the easement. The easement request, which the next stage is going to FERC for their approval,
Yes. So you
which
could
would then
say,
come back to us.
to approve the easement application submitted to FERC.
Submit it to FERC.
Yes.
Okay, I'll amend it. City property easement request for FERC's approval for the law firm property sale.
Support.
And I hear you, Scott.
That just, when it says to approve the easement, you don't know which way you could take that, because we're not approving the whole thing right now. We're just approving the next step.
Yeah, we read it up better next time. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
Roll call, Rick?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Marrero,
Yes.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Mr. Mangini,
Yes,
Mayor Brew.
We'll move on to anyone wishing to address the council on any item will be unmuted and given an opportunity to make their comments. State your name and address for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. Do you have any, Rick?
I'm going to try and unmute folks if they want to address the board. Oh, looks like we do not.
Alrighty, we'll move on to mayor and council comments. Scott?
I have nothing for tonight.
Jeff?
I have nothing for tonight, Madam Mayor.
Lee?
oh, I got a couple little goodies here. Last week, August 15th, was VJ Day. That's Victory Japan, and that ended World War II. That was 75 years ago. And I'm afraid if you ask the younger generations right now what VJ Day is, they have no idea. And I will say that was our greatest generation of men and women. Okay,
Amen.
now another little history note here for you history buffs. On this day in history in 1786, Davy Crockett passed away at the Alamo. He was only 49 years old. And another little item, which you might not care for or not, is 22 years ago today, on August 17th, 1998, Bill Clinton said he had no improper physical relationship with White House intern Monica Lewinsky. Boy, time goes by fast. That's all I have to say.
Lee, just check your 1786 date on Davy Crockett. It was a little bit later than that.
You don't have to cover your face.
Well, I'm with you.
I
Hey,
have
it's
no,
history. It's history.
I guess I do have one comment. Did we find out what the deal was with the internet and the TV, why it was going out, or did we not find out anything on that yet?
Yeah, Candy, it's the Astra, or how you pronounce it.
I read that.
Yeah, it's the DOCSIS. It's a DOCSIS 2. It's a DOCSIS upgrade. They're having problems with the firmware. So what's happening is that these modems are kicking in and out as they're trying. It's kicking them off, then they got to reboot and kick them off, and they got to reboot. So all us folks with the older modems. Sorry, Ray, if I'm not trying to steal your thunder. I just know this stuff. So
Go ahead, you're doing great.
yeah, it's the old modems aren't having a problem. It's all the new modems with the new firmware, and as upgrade, there's issues.
So just to add to that, I did get a message from Mr. Briner toward quitting time today that they did a patch. They did some work programming today, and
Thank
they are
God.
98% confident that they finally got it. So we'll see.
Great.
We'll see.
Because now I want my new modem, right?
Yeah, you're on the list. I wrote you down. So.
Ray, did
Hi,
you have
Grant.
any?
I don't have anything. We appreciate everybody's patience today, even throughout this meeting with a little bit of a bump in electric. That tree, I think, did some other work on us. So we're gonna have to go back to find out what caused that other bump. So, but we appreciate people's patience. The ladies in the office did a fantastic job receiving phone calls. We got those calls about 4:45, and really appreciate all the work they did. They were coming in hot and heavy with the calls, and they did a great job of talking to the customers. And I think overall the customers were understood, and they were just happy to talk to somebody. So that was good.
Grant, did you have anything?
Just briefly, am I coming through okay, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
I had called in, of course, when I must have had one of those new modems that was getting a system upgrade, and everything cut out at the time you guys were waiting to hear from me. I was able to hear your conversations. You guys accurately stated, Ray accurately stated what was the status of the easement and the process we're at right now. Ray and I have been talking through this process and working with our Mead and Hunt engineer, who's been integral in helping guide us through this process. I've also worked with Jake Lynch through this this process as well with the document. I think it was Mr. Moraro that referenced, whose document was this? I think Mr. Lynch drafted it to get it started because taking note of Mr. Menegini's commentary, the city oftentimes takes the lead and then also does the bulk of the work at taxpayer expense. So Mr. Lynch, on behalf of Law Homes, took the bull by the horn. And he and I have been making edit after edit after edit and change after change to try to get to the point where the council was comfortable, where I was comfortable, and also that satisfied the mortgage company's underwriters to make sure that it was acceptable as well. With the engineer discussion, he's helping us get it to FERC as soon as possible to review and give the blessing to make sure that it complies with their requirements. Based on the engineer's comments, everything appears to be exactly as he wanted it, and it had the protections for the city that we were both looking for, he and I. And again, I'm kind of making that public comment about Mead and Hunt's, the engineer we use for FERC, because he's been very, very responsive, very, very quick in responding and very helpful. So it is appreciated. The council's comments were spot on as far as the easement information. It is off to FERC for approval, and it's up to council if you feel comfortable with it. I am keeping track, Mr. Menegini, of my time that I'm putting into it, so it can be separated and addressed. And I've also spoken to Mr. Lynch about it on a number of occasions to make sure that everybody was on the same page, that this wasn't going to be a surprise. So I am keeping a tally and keeping an eye on it as well for purposes of final approval, if you will, or final confirmation.
Excellent job as always, Grant. Excellent job as always, buddy.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Mangini,
Yes.
Mr. Pop,
Yes.
Ray, are you taking over my job?
I didn't know if you were back yet or not.
I've been back.
Okay,
Mrs.
File a
Brew,
grievance.
Go ahead, Trish. You can take
Okay.
over.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Marraro,
Yes.
Mr. Pop.
Yes.
Grievances will be filed tomorrow.
Yes.
All right.
Night.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Good night,
Thanks.
everyone.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good
See ya.
night.
Stay
See you
safe.
guys. Dan.